Welcome back to CCRPG. We just watched the DBC Crew take over Relay Station Trine. They took out two kind of artillery emplacements along with a couple of snipers and a couple of scouts. They were able to move in fast enough and wipe out everyone before anyone got away that you all believe that you are pretty safe in terms of like signals getting out, because it took you under like 6 rounds basically to take everyone out, and you prevented the last scout from escaping. You are able to basically pick right back up from where you all left off. So let's just start there. Who is doing what right after the end of that battle?
I would like to check the mech that didn't blow up in front of me, the other long shot, to see if the pilot is still alive in it.
All right.
If you guys don't mind me going first, you can
go right ahead.
Go for it.
All right. Yeah. Rock, you move forward and quickly check this was the long shot that you were basically dueling with. Yeah. I don't remember his exact number. It's a scrap pile now. But there is enough of a cockpit left that you think that it is possible that someone could still be alive there. Do you like jump down out of your mech to go check it?
How far can I get in there with my mech? Like, while I'm still in my mech.
You don't have the manipulators add-on for your mech, so you can't do anything precise with your mech at all. Like, if you were to try and open it with a mech hand, you're just as likely to punch through it.
Okay. Okay, well, I'm gonna open up out of my mech, then right up to it.
Okay. Are you guys all wearing, like, the heavy we talked about this when you were coming down to the planet, right? You guys are all wearing like heavy winter gear, right?
Pretty much.
Because imagine this like the scene on Hoth, where it's like it's not storming, like there's not a blizzard hitting you, but it is freezing. It's so cold that your mechs ice up, right? So you don't want to be out of your mech for very long.
And
that's right. It's actually icing up right now.
I'm wearing a flex suit.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a special thing.
All right. So, Rock, I assume the mech like leans down and your cockpit opens up and you like jump down to the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've got like my pilot weapon out and ready and everything. And then up to the cockpit, I'm just going to knock on it a few times.
You knock on it a few times and there's no response.
All right. Then I'll slowly open it, prepared for something to fight back.
You reach out for the release hatch. It does, like, they're specifically built so that it does take like a second of hard work to like really twist it and then pull to like pop it, so that like it isn't super easy for someone to just do this in the middle of a fight. But yeah, you get in there, you like lift up the handle, you turn it and then push it back in, and then you hear the like seal break like all around the edge of the cockpit and just as the inner atmosphere lets out. So
Sign for him.
The cockpit is essentially accessible now to you.
Okay, that reminded me of Titanfall 2, jockeying other mechs and everything. Like, why don't you just like make that harder to get to?
Yeah. No, they make them hard. You can do that kind of thing in this game, but it takes some doing.
Yeah,
and you have to have like specific skill triggers and stuff. Or, like, not skill triggers. What are they? Feats? Pilot feats or something?
Yeah, the talents.
That's it. So yeah, you crack it open. How do you proceed?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna start opening it, assuming that he's either knocked out or dead inside, but still on guard.
All right. You kind of pull the cockpit open as you get to peek inside. It is dark in there. You see some sparking electricity from like broken wires and shattered screens. At the back of the cockpit, strapped into kind of their pilot chair, there is someone in like full winter gear, one of those huge like covers down to like the top of their mouth kind of snow goggles, you know, like the huge boxy snow goggles, and like a fur-lined kind of like almost like parka-y thing. So basically the only thing visible on their face you can see is their mouth. But the while there was atmosphere in here, Rock, you notice quickly that there is no warmth in here. It probably, went down once the heater for the mech stopped working. But yeah, they're just unconscious. Like their head is drooped over to one side. Their arms are like just limp at their sides. They have some cuts on them, probably from getting thrown around or like breaking screen glass or something inside the cockpit.
Right.
But it appears that they are still breathing. Do you have like a medicine check or anything that you can assess their condition with?
I mean, read a situation's the closest, but that's not.
I will let you use a read a situation to get some more information here. Okay. It just won't be what like, same. It won't quite the same thing.
18.
18 still good. You notice that's still a success. So you notice fairly quickly, the thing you didn't notice is that their pilot seat is like black and like slick looking, but is much shinier and darker just behind the head of the pilot.
So presumably blood.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you would guess. You would guess that they have a cranial bleed of some sort. You don't know where from, but there's a lot of blood slicked on the back of the seat headrest.
Okay, I don't have long with this guy then. I'm gonna disarm him quickly. And can I bind him in any way, or is he bound enough? I think if I disarm him, he proves no threat.
He is in the securing mechanisms for like holding him in his pilot seat. Now, granted, that only takes a few moments to like take off, but it would still take him
pointed at you, and
he would still take him a few moments to get his harness off to get out of this seat.
Okay, so I'm actually not that concerned as long as I disarm him. So I'll just check. I'll pat him down really quick what I can for any like guns or sidearms or anything.
It does. So you will find that he has a pilot weapon, but it is actually along the right side of the cockpit. It looks like it's in almost like a gun rack,
a holster.
Yeah, like against the side of the cockpit. That's for like him to take off the wall if he's going out of the mech.
I don't know how close it is to him, but just in case, I'll still grab it and toss it out.
Yeah, you just grab it, throw it over your shoulder. It's out in the snow somewhere.
Okay. All right. Then I'm going to be doing some very questionable things. I'm going to stim him.
Okay.
To bring him back to consciousness if I can.
What?
Remind us the rules for stim, or how it's described at least in the pilot gear.
So. You know what? The description here makes it seem like it's only something I could use on myself, but I don't know. These chemical stimulants are administered automatically by injectors built into the pilot suit or even implanted within their body. Uncontrolled can be addictive or dangerous. It might charge for one of the effects. You can either kick, freeze, or juice someone from them.
If you had more time or more prep, I would let you use it on someone else, but you might not have that much time in this situation because I imagine it's like hooked into your like your hard suit or something. Then
okay. Then I will just see if I can get him awake normally.
Okay.
Just like kind of pat him a little bit. Hey, wake up.
You kind of like shove him a little bit. You check him. You would notice that he is breathing, but the breathing is shallow.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll just radio. Hey, Orion, can you get over to the west side here?
I'll be like, sure. It's going to take a minute, but sure. And I'll start proceeding over there.
I will say, Rock, it seems to you that unless you do something now, he might not last that long. Now, getting Orion over here would probably help quite a bit, but you might need to do something in the meantime if you want them to last till then.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put pressure on the wound to try to stop the bleeding and everything.
Okay, yeah, so you can apply some initial like first aid or emergency treatment. I'll need a pilot check.
Yeah, I don't have anything that would apply to it, so I'll just roll flat 20.
Flat 20.
Yeah, that's a 7.
A 7. You try, but they are just too wounded and too weak from the fight. As far as you can tell, they pass away.
Okay. All right. Well, once they pass, then I'll just say to Orion, never mind.
Okay, and Orion will like stop and then proceed to go back. In the meantime, Orion's two guys are trying to mitigate the damage from the reactor going over.
Yeah, absolutely. They have mostly got it under control. Between now, that is to say, Artemis wants you to start demolishing the fort. Just to, they have to have an ammo cache here somewhere. You should probably blow it up. But Castor is keeping your systems managed, I will say.
That sounds about right. Okay. While that's happening, Dyne is going to, assuming you don't have anything else you're doing, Rock.
No, I join you guys at that point.
Okay.
At this point, I mean.
Dyne is going to start looking around for any kind of like external, like we cleared the mechs, but he's looking for any other external like security that could potentially hinder us from getting inside.
Okay, yeah, make a check to see if you notice anything.
All right, let's see.
Probably
so
spot.
I'm gonna see. I was gonna say spot.
Yeah.
That seems like an appropriate one, so that'll give me a +2. I rolled a 5.
Not that you can tell.
Dyne is too preoccupied with his mech melting down.
It sounds like you got your priorities in order, actually.
Yeah, I feel like that's more important.
That's what you think as another mech jumps out from beneath us.
Oh no.
Now, I will describe the fort in a little bit more detail now that you've gotten things under control. It is a hexagonal kind of way fort. There are like large, thick walls that are each, I would say, like 9 meters tall, if not maybe a little bit bigger, with the like defenses built up on the sides. There are stairs to get up on the wall at the north and south sides of the base, as well as like almost like a little tower on the north and south of the base. In kind of the part that's interior to the fortress that the walls go around, there are 4 buildings. Each one of them has a runway on it, seemingly for supplies. There are some like cargo loaders out here that have some supplies and boxes like kind of stacked up next to them. Each one of these 4 probably supply depots, they kind of look like from the outside, or storage rooms or something, seems to be like kind of what this base has to keep itself running. Each one of them has like a 2 shuttered door, like two sliding doors that come together. So there's a single up and down seam running down the middle, right? So it looks like it parts to either side. Each one of these 4 has one of those.
When I look around, do I see anything that looks like radio or communication equipment?
You do. It looks like at the far north and far south of the base, coming off of those towers at the far north and south, there are antennae.
Okay. COMET says, I'm going to check what looks like maybe a communication array up north. And he's gonna go up to the north tower, and see if there's any like interface or terminal that is connected to the antenna, or is it just
there's
an
there's
antenna
a
sticking out the building?
There's a human-sized door, like at
okay, so
at
it's
the
like
base.
a little building.
Yeah,
in
it's
there. So
like the tower on the north and south are almost like little buildings that you can walk into.
Okay. So COMET will dismount from his mech, go inside the door. Well, he'll see if he can go inside the door, first of all.
It is unlocked.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as you can tell, there is nothing to lock it here. The door just kind of opens for you. And as you walk in, you're in like a hallway, and there's 2 doors to the left, 2 doors to the right, and a door at the end of the hallway. Each of these doors has panels next to it, like electronic panels.
Okay.
If you turn around after you walk in the first door, you will see that there is a barring mechanism on this side of the door, but it does not look like it was engaged.
I see.
So this first door was not like barred close.
Okay, and then I have the door on the left and right that have like maybe access panels.
Yeah, there are access panels on the 2 doors to the left and right, and on the right side of the door at the end of the hallway.
Okay. Any sort of signage in this hallway?
None.
All right. Well, I'll start checking out these doors. I'll just go to the one of the doors on the left.
Okay.
And I'll see if I can interface. Well, let me look at the terminal. Is it just like a keypad sort of thing?
It is.
Okay, and I guess I'm gonna try to open the door just by itself, just to make sure it's locked.
Yeah, there is actually no way to open the door without interfacing with the keypad.
I see.
Can I just say, while this is happening, Dyne would be worried about Astro being in there on his own, so he would be moving over there and probably arrive while he's working on the door.
Oh, totally.
Whatever he's doing.
Yeah, absolutely. While you're in the midst of that, Astro, Dyne would show up, kind of like through the door you had come in.
Okay, so real quick, if you guys can help me refresh my memory. So the idea here was we were taking down this relay station because then they wouldn't be able to get like a message off planet using the relay station. Is that right?
The idea is to prevent communications so that it's private.
Not necessarily off planet, but they wouldn't be able to communicate. Okay.
Not this specific base. This is just an outpost that we're just
right.
Along
this
the
is
way.
Just the like a strategically important way station. Cool. So when Dyne walks in,
there is another important reason why you took it.
Yes.
And didn't try to just sneak past it.
Oh, that's right, because we're landing the ship here too, right?
That's right.
You need a way to get back off planet.
Yeah.
Were we going to tell Torsay when we?
So as far as you guys are aware, I'll just recap real quick because it's been a while since the briefing.
Yeah.
As far as you're aware, there is a complex network of monitoring for the atmosphere to make sure that nothing like lands on the planet, right? You guys got past that by riding the drop pods down and just landing in the wastes, right?
Right.
But if a ship the size of the DBC tries to approach the planet, it will be caught on the radar. They will know that a ship is trying to land on the planet. If you take Fort Trine offline, that opens a hole in that network that you can get the DBC into without it being detected. So that is a way to get the DBC onto this planet without them knowing that a ship has landed on this planet.
Okay, but we may be in Fort Trine right now, but as far as we know, it's still part of their network. So
It is, as far as you're aware, still part of their network. Yes.
So when Dyne enters in the little building with me, Astro says, hi, Dyne. I was just checking this communications building. I want to see if I can get in and disable, take this fort offline, off the communication grid. Once we do that, we can radio Torsay, tell her it's safe to land.
That's the plan. Let's do this quickly, in and out, as fast as possible.
All right. Well, first thing, I have to get through these doors and see what we have here. And he opens up the little cybernetic hatch he has on his wrist and pulls out a cable and then tries to see if he can dismantle or take the keypad plating off and see if he can interface with the access panel.
Yeah,
with the subjectivity enhancement suite.
Yeah, it takes you just a little bit of time to wedge it off the wall, but you are able to access the wiring.
Okay, so he'll plug himself in and try to crack the access code.
You do it.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, this door doesn't have that kind of security on it. Simply having what you have, there's no repercussion for failure here, so it just takes you time and you accomplish it.
Are these is the security system part of a closed system? Can I also, like, while I'm doing this, open all the other doors? Or do I have to go up to each one individually?
The doors are so each door is connected to a larger system, and each door is connected to just the panel. But the panel and the system don't interact with each other.
I got
so
what you're saying.
there is a place that can open all the doors. That place is not this panel.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So I'll check out this room first. So once I open the door, I'll go inside and see what we're dealing with.
The first door on the left, which is the door you opened, you walk in and it is bunks. This is a bunk room. This first room you found. There are 2 bunks in this room. There are foot lockers in front of those bunks, and there are desks and personal spaces. It's a relatively large room for bunks, but there are like papers. You can see a couple of reports in the middle of being written up. There are like little filing cabinets. It's like a little 2-person room.
Yeah.
More than like a bunk room. Like it's like 2 people sharing a room.
Okay. I'll just say, looks like we found some sleeping quarters here. Let's try the next door. And I'll leave and go to the next door that's on the left. So there's 2 doors on the left and 1 door down the hallway, right?
That's right.
All right.
2 doors on the left, 2 doors on the right, 1 door down the hallway.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
You come in the middle, basically.
Yeah.
While he's doing that, can I look around like the bunks to see if there was any noticeable equipment left behind?
Yeah, go for it. You look around. I'll tell you right now that what you find might not be of great interest to you. Spare clothing, warm clothing, some person who has like a little stash of snacks next to their bed. There is like media, right? So you find a bunch of holovids and stuff like that. Astro, roll a D100.
I have a feeling I know what this is about. 1 D100. I rolled a 53.
There's a copy of Red Alert as part Astro's first major film in that series. You find a copy of Red Alert as part of the media. It just stands out to you because you're like, oh, a bunch of like holovids. You flip through them and see Astro's face on one of them. But yeah, this is like a personal room. This is like there are desks here. The supplies are like food and clothing.
Right.
And the personal desks in this room have like some writing on them. They have like pop-up screens on them that people could watch stuff on, but that's about it.
Astro begins to look at that other door on the left, and then he stops and he says, "You know what? I would bet these other 3 rooms to left and right of us could also be bunks as well. Important room looks like it's down this hallway, so why don't we check that first?" He starts walking down the hallway to the door.
Sounds good.
All right, yeah, and once he gets there, he'll do the same thing, try to lift up the access panel, interface with his subjectivity enhancement suite.
All right,
and get
roll
it
for
open.
this one.
What's that?
Roll for this one.
Roll for this one?
Yeah, you're going to need a pilot check
All
to
right.
get past this one.
Yeah, I knew this one was important. So I will roll a pilot check with my hack or fix trigger. Give me a +4.
You needed it. You just got a 10.
Oh man.
You succeed.
Right, cool.
You succeed by a hair. You're like, oh, like it was so easy getting to those other doors. You weren't ready to do the work. But you do. You put it in. The door opens. You're like, oh, okay. Well, I guess it's not going to be easy all the time. In front of you, there is a short hallway that's maybe only like 6 or 7 feet that goes to a wall and a T section. But the T section it's not 2 hallways that go to the left and right. It's a staircase. So one goes up to the left and another staircase goes up to the right.
And they both go up, though?
Yeah, both staircases goes up. One staircase goes up left, one staircase goes up right, and directly in front of you is just a wall.
All right, so I'll just go up, take the staircase up to the left.
Okay. You get to a landing. There is another staircase that goes back up further, but towards the center again.
Okay.
Right,
but nothing else on this landing?
No. It's just a landing. It just goes up, turns around, up again. Okay. So you go up, turn around, go up again. And you realize as you're climbing to the top, this is where the other staircase goes as well. It just goes up on both sides, wraps around, and then goes up again to a central area. But the central area is huge. It's the other half of this tower. It is a giant control center, and in fact, the entire north wall of this tower is screens and like heavily fortified windows. In fact, from here, you can see outside the north side of the base. It is like it almost feels like being on the bridge of a spaceship. There's like this huge open window in front of you. There's a bunch of like control stations around almost in an arc that all like point north. You can tell that there is a single central kind of computer station that is circular that has like inputs all around it and is currently displaying a hologram of the planet you're on floating above it that occupies the center of this room.
I know I'm not there, but it seems kind of weird that a base this large had only had 6 people at it for each mech.
Well, we don't know that for sure.
I will tell you, there are hundreds of these bases on this planet.
Sure. But, I mean, they have to be manned, I would assume, right?
Mm-hmm. Good questions, Chuck.
I'm not there, so imagine the ghost of Evelene is saying this in your conscience.
Well, for what it's worth, I'll radio the others, and I'll tell them, looks like we might have some sort of a control center up in the north tower. There might be a similar one in the south tower as well, but I've got the north tower open. If anyone wants to come up and check it out for yourself.
Yeah,
maybe Dyne's already there. He'll go up.
I'm trying to fix my mech up, and then maybe afterward I'll come over, but I wanted to do some maintenance on it. Which I don't know if we want to deal with now.
Yeah, we should do your short rest maintenance like all together, because I don't want to take a break to do it for each one of you, because it takes an hour, Evelene. So we'll collect all of those at the same time.
Okay, then she's I still don't think it makes sense for her to be following you guys, but maybe she's just outside just checking stuff out. And
yeah, totally. What would you be checking out? You're still like, because remember, it takes you an hour to repair your mech.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine a lot of people would want to like make sure they're in a safe place before they do that.
That's sort of where I'm at. I'm like, is there any other like? So if Astro and Dyne are doing the interior, I'm just like exploring the exterior.
Sure,
going along the walls and stuff.
What do you want to explore, Chimera?
I know this map is not exactly what you have envisioned, but like, what are these facilities on the outside? Like these.
I explain those.
Objects? Oh.
Yep. They are like giant, what look like supply buildings.
Yeah, I'm gonna just poke my head into supply buildings.
They have two giant doors that are closed together that have like a seam running up and down through the middle.
Okay. If there's like a way to just take a quick peek inside.
How do you open the door?
I have no idea. That's probably
well, you walk up to it and it
doesn't
open on its own. So what would you do next?
There's no like control panel or anything?
No.
Well, that's bad design. Okay, well, I'm not gonna force my way in case there's like security or anything. So I'll just try to maybe I'll just climb up to the top of the Actually, I just realized, are those stairs mech-sized stairs, or
yes,
are
they are mech-sized stairs?
I'm sure there's a human-sized stair somewhere. Check out the upper parts.
There are human-sized stairs running alongside the side of them, like on a roller coaster. There's like human steps alongside the roller coaster track. That's what you can imagine for these huge mech-sized stairs that go up on the north and south of the base.
Okay, then I'll do that then. Go up the human-sized stairs and then see if there's anything on the
Chimera. It is so cold. It's so cold.
It doesn't last very long, does it?
What's that? Yeah, it like being outside of your mech on this planet is rough.
Evelene immediately regrets her decision of climbing up here. So maybe she spends less time she would expect.
Yeah, now that you're outside of the walls, like you're just getting the full wind, and it is unpleasant.
Is there anything up here in this tower type, like raised section, or is it just part of the inside of the building?
Tell me where you're pointing at.
Look at the top of the structure.
That's where Astro and Dyne are right now.
Yeah, and I would have explained where that was when I radioed you guys.
Oh, I wasn't sure if there was a okay.
Yes,
sorry.
That is the Northern Command building tower that they are inside exploring right now.
Okay, then I'm realizing there's not much left to cover then on the outside. So,
except maybe the southern tower.
I guess, yeah. I'll work my way to the southern tower then. If I realize that Dyne and Astro are in the northern tower, I'll work my way to the southern tower then.
All right, yeah, you work your way to the southern tower. What are you doing there?
Just poking my nose around. I'm not trying to like find anything particular. I'm just seeing if there's anything.
You open the door to the south tower. The first door opens, no problem. You just walk right in. There are 2 doors on your left, 2 doors on your right, and a door straight ahead of you.
Straight ahead, I assume.
Okay. You walk straight ahead down the end of the hallway. There is a door with a control panel next to it.
I assume the door's locked?
It doesn't seem to be opening.
You know what? I'll make an attempt to hacker fix it.
All right. How does Chimera do that?
I mean, I don't have the hacker skills Astro has, but I'm sure I can figure out, like, if I connect this wire to this wire, maybe I can hotwire this door open.
Yeah, go for it.
The old brute force hack method.
Yeah, it is.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, go for it. This is the hardware side hack.
Mm-hmm.
That is what Evelene is best at.
It is true.
Chimera can't
I
charm the door.
I don't want to charm the door. I don't have the charm skill for it.
So yeah, you
And I rolled a 9.
You, similar to Astro in some ways, pop the panel off the wall to get at the wires, but instead of connecting your consciousness to the wires, you cut them open and try to loop around some of the wires to see if you can make a short that will open the door. You think you fried the control panel. You see some acrid smoke come up, and the control panel turns off.
Evelene just kind of shrugs, like, well, and she looks around to see if anyone saw that. Like, nope. Well, I guess it's broken. I'll go down the, I guess the left corridor.
There are no corridors. It's just a single hall that has 2 doors on the left, 2 doors on the right, and the door you went into.
2 doors on the left. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
The closer of the 2 on the left.
Okay. So since you're coming from the far door, it would be the second door. Oh, okay. So you're walking out of the far door. Do you go left from your perspective or right from your perspective?
Yeah, you're just trying to be tricky.
There are 4 doors here. I'm just trying to determine which one you're actually opening.
I mean, yeah. Let's say left from my perspective.
Okay, so you walk out. So from Astro, this would be comparable to your back right door that she is opening. So you pick the first door on the left as soon as you walk away from the far door. Yeah, you try the same trick to open this door?
Yeah, sure,
okay.
Why not?
You don't have to make a check for this one. There's no security on this door. You try the same kind of trick, and it just works for this one. As soon as there's a short in the system, the door emergency opens. On the other side of the door, this appears to be a filing room. There are just like filing cabinets. There is a wall that has like a bunch of books, like a small library shelf, a small bookshelf that has a bunch of books, but more binders filled with papers than books, and just a bunch of filing cabinets.
I'm going to take one at random. I don't expect anything, but it's sort of like I ought to do something in this room, even though I don't expect much.
All right, roll a D100. You open a filing cabinet at random and just pull out a file.
Yeah, maybe I just close my eyes and just randomly pick one. 19.
Oh.
I don't know what that...
Okay.
Oh?
So you walk up to a filing cabinet. You just pull a note out at random. And from the date at the top of the report, you notice that it's quite recent. And you'll notice that the report is actually a request. It seems, based off of your reading, you read the whole thing. It's not that hard to understand, especially because it's actually written in primarily like non-jargony language. It's pretty like personal language.
Okay.
It's like the header and everything make it look like it's a requisition report, but based off of the body and what the guy wrote, this is like a complaint. This is like someone being pissed off and just trying to like yell at someone else. It is written. This is like a filed report, a requisition report from someone at this base complaining about. Now, this was written like yesterday. You picked a recent report complaining about why all of their support staff were recalled back to the main base. It doesn't make sense that there's only a couple of people to run this whole base. Do you know that I'm pulling 3 people's jobs? Why am I not getting paid more? I should be getting paid overtime for this. When is my relief coming in? I have vacation filed 2 months from now. It is a very angry report from someone from yesterday who sent a report back to the main base complaining about conditions at this relay station.
Interesting. Yeah, Evelene says as she strokes her chin. Wait, so is this someone? Was the report filed from this base?
Yes, it was someone. This is the copy that they kept on hand of the requisition report that they sent to corporate.
Does it indicate when the staff was sent back to the main base? The people not here?
No, because it's all written in like just spoken. Like you can tell that both people that are part of this conversation know when that was, so they don't reiterate it. You know,
Okay.
it is someone complaining about like, why did you take all our people? Not saying why did you take all our people on November 17th, right? Like,
well, I'm saying like you could be
Yes.
saying like I've been dealing with this for a week now. And
right?
It's
Yeah.
not sustainable.
Unfortunately, that does not surface on this report.
Okay. Over the comms, Evelyn will kind of pass this information along, saying like, yeah, this might be those Beck pilots might be all the people we see here. It seems like they called everyone else back to the main base.
Well, isn't that suspicious?
Well, I mean, if they're trying to,
I mean, it's good
no,
for us,
yeah.
maybe, but that seems a little bit suspicious.
Well, I'm just saying, if there's support staff called to the main thing, there also might be security called back to the main base also. So it might be a little more staff than we were initially expecting.
Well, that just means we need to get this done quickly. Get in, get out.
Good thing we got those the specs of the base that maybe should help us quite a bit. Is there anything else in that general file, Bob? Just since like it seems like I was lucky to pull a recent one.
Yeah, you're in the files for requisition reports, and this one was written in a fit of like anger, like someone breaking. The other requisition reports are filled out like requisition reports. You know, need X liters of water, need X amount of fuel, need that kind of thing.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna hold on to this just because it feels like it's important.
Sure, yeah.
Just
make note. It is from Smithy to Jonathan.
Okay.
They have titles and stuff, but I didn't think of their titles. But you can imagine they have some sort of corporate title in CorSec that denotes their position relative to one another.
Out of character, I'm partially wondering if Smithy is the person that Rock administered to. I mean, I don't know that's the thing, but it'd just be entertaining if it happened to be that coincidence. I mean, it's a 1-6 shot, I guess.
Maybe.
Evelyn would have no idea, and she just thinks it's important to hold on to just in case.
All right, well, that's what you find in that amount of time. Rock, what are you doing during this time? That is correct. The left and right walls both have large, closed security doors on them.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gathering those mechs to the west side that are outside the wall, and I'm just there's not like a panel or way to open it from the outside. I'm guessing
there is not.
Okay. Then I'll just ask, can somebody open the west outer walls? I'm trying to get the mechs out of view in case anyone comes scouting around or notices them. They won't think it's suspicious right away.
Dyne will go out and help him and do that. Dyne will tell Astro to try and figure out how to get the system down.
I'll even say it's possible that this is sort of like a control center. Maybe I can open up the doors from here. I could take a look around. Is there like a computer system I can access, like an ops center, something like that?
Yeah, you can search the system to see if there is like base controls in here. The problem is you don't know where to start. There are so many panels and control systems, and you're sure that something is life support, something is comm, something is security, something, you know what I mean? Something, there are probably like 8 different stations that all do support for like the networked like atmosphere monitoring and stuff like that.
Right.
So yeah, you're gonna have to like look around a bit. What do you do to try and figure out what these things are and what you can do with them?
Well, I might see if I can interface with one of the systems using my subjectivity enhancement suite again, because one of the things that it does is it makes navigating network systems a lot easier to do. So if I'm making an educated guess that everything's networked here. So he'll just pick like one of the terminals, one of the stations at random, and plug into it and see if he can figure out how everything's networked.
So I will let you know that as you start this process, you can tell that a lot of it is networked together, but not all of it.
Okay.
You can tell. You can tell basically that because you kind of see it around you, like it becomes almost like a thing, like you can experience this network,
right?
And what you can tell is that there are a bunch of systems here that are all operable from this single networked node, and will all do things. But there seems to be some that almost are missing something or aren't complete. There's not enough here to do the thing you need. It's almost like looking at a keyboard for something you want to operate, and half of the keyboard is missing.
I see. I don't have the whole picture here.
Yeah, but that's for most systems you have access to. I will tell you that if you make me an investigate check while in this world of kind of exploratory data, you can pretty much map out what everything is in here in a short amount of time.
And by the way, the way I imagine this looking like when Astro's jacked in is kind of like like Tom Cruise in the Minority Report, like doing all these hand gestures and navigating through data in like 3D space. That's sort of what he's doing, because it's jacked directly into his mind. So he kind of has this augmented reality view of the networks and everything. So he sees it all around him, and that's how he's kind of like navigating and figuring out what's connected to what. So yeah, let me roll investigation, or use my investigate trigger, and see what would I get here. I got 10.
All right, a 10's just enough.
Just enough.
Yeah, that's your hacking right now for some reason.
I like rolling 10s.
Yeah. You piece together. Now you're unfamiliar with the system, which probably relates to why you're just getting there. It's very military. It's very a system you're not used to working inside of. You're used to a lot of more civilian or public type networks. In here, you can tell that most base controls, including most doors, most security systems, and like records, and even communications between bases, can all be controlled from here. The thing that can't be controlled from here, that you only have half the control for, is the networked system between bases that monitors the skies. It appears that you need access to another system in addition to this in order to interact with that at all.
Interesting. Well, first of all, since I can now, I'll open the doors west of the fortress, the west doors that Rock asked.
Yeah, Rock, in the snow, these giant creaking metal doors just start to part for you, and lets the wind and a bit of the snow, like as the air pressure changes, as the doors open, some wind and snow blow inside the base, but the door opens for you.
Cool.
Can I also...
I'm going to start bringing in the mech scraps that are outside the wall on either side into the base.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll open the door on both sides. And can I also open the doors in those 4 little buildings inside?
Yes.
Those supply depots?
You also know what is there because you have access to all the supply data. There is another long shot, another 2 long shots and 2 scouts
Ooh.
Yes. So in the two northern, well, now you know what they are. They're kind of supply depot / hangars. Each one of them doubles as a supply depot and a hangar. The two northern hangars have long shots in them, and the two southern hangars both have scouts in them, as well as a variety of supplies.
So, do I think we can use these supplies to do repairs on our mech outside of the usual, like, field?
Now I will tell you exactly what you get for taking the base. Now that Todd knows, you will all get +4 unallocated repair cap that you can distribute amongst you however you please by stripping these mechs for parts. Additionally, going through the supply list, there is a very rare item in this base, COMET, that is a power supply that you believe is powerful enough to recharge 1 core battery.
Ooh.
Did anyone use their core?
Yep, COMET did.
Oh, nice.
So there are 4 unallocated repair cap and 1 core battery that you could salvage from the supplies left in this base.
Okay, very cool.
Am I the only one that gets really freaked out when, like, the DM starts giving you, like, a bunch of health potions before the next fight?
I was suspicious. I was definitely suspicious.
Alright.
He just wants to make sure we succeed.
Yeah, right.
Well, here's a question. And this is partially because, obviously we're not in the world, so it might be obvious.
Wait, what?
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 Oh, silly me. What am I talking about? Anyway, these mechs have, like, identification information on them, right? Identified them as
100%. It's Longshot 47, Longshot 63, Scout 81, and Scout 84.
Can we take those and use those to disguise our mechs?
No.
I figured that was not that was the case.
They will. Okay, so that is. Imagine you live in a world where these kinds of things exist. That is a common tactic that people figured out countermeasures on pretty early. If you take out their IFF info and put it into your mech instead of your own, there will be a discrepancy between your operation signature of your mech and your IFF signature, which will automatically flag you as like a red flag in any system, even friendly systems. So in fact, doing that might make you show up as an enemy for your allies.
I'm not sure you want to do that when Artemis is around.
Yeah, that's fair.
And not just that. Remember, you guys are part of a larger operation. So, like, the Astro Uprising, their detection systems would read you as enemies because your IFF signals and your emission signals wouldn't match up with each other.
So, actually, I'm realizing only Todd would recognize this analogy. It's like the SSL certificate for a host name. Basically, they have to match in order for people to actually trust it.
Get that?
Oh, you do? Okay, well, there you go.
So you could do that, but you don't believe it would fool anyone.
Sorry, go ahead.
I just said you could do that, but you don't believe it would fool anyone. To answer the original question.
So, like, the only way that really pulled this off would be if someone were actually piloting that mech.
You would have to actually get in and pilot that mech in order to disguise yourself as that mech. Correct.
How much do we trust Artemis at this point?
I'm not sure I want her to leave my mech. Thank you.
Hey, I asked. I got the answer. We move on.
She's too important to managing my really big gun.
Well, alternatively, you could leave her to pilot your mech, and you could pilot the other mech.
Now let's just think about this for a moment.
No.
I think that if I had access to a variety of weaponry, I could fire them myself.
I think we're good, Artemis. Maybe not during the middle of a mission.
I'm going to log that as a maybe.
CHIMERA feels a very angry vibe coming from Dyne right at her. For giving Artemis the idea.
I don't I realized I was proposing that as me, not as Evelene, but I feel like Evelene would regret that after she proposed it too. She's like, oh, maybe that's not such a good idea.
Dyne will ignore Evelene and proceed to strip down the mechs in order to start repairs.
There is also a variety of other supplies here, so you don't have to worry. Like, if you want food and stuff as well, it's all here. Like, everything you need for a short rest is available at this base, as well as the 4 repair cap and 1 core battery. But like, a lot of it is also supplies that you may or may not have anything you want to do with. Like, there are, like, whole supply pallets of paper towels and stuff like that.
Oh, good. Paper towels. Just what I needed. Like, in real life. No, just kidding. And, yeah. Dyne will see the core battery and make a note of it that Astro is probably going to be the one who needs it, or the battery, not necessarily the core battery, but, and then start stripping the mechs while Astro is upstairs dealing with the electronics.
All right. Yeah, it is not take much to strip down these mechs for parts. With the issues of compatibility of parts and the fact that these are all, they're all one structure mechs, right? And they don't have particularly advanced parts. And plus, they're all very specialized for cold weather operation. A lot of their stuff just isn't compatible with yours, which is why the max I'm willing to go with all the supplies in this base plus stripping down these mechs is 4 repair cap at maximum.
Makes sense.
You can replace a lot of like armor paneling and stuff with 4 mechs worth of parts.
Yeah. That makes sense. All right. Do we want to do that short rest now, or do we want to wait for Astro to finish his thing? Because I kind of want to do all of that at once rather than like come back to
I can say that, like, with Astro opening the doors and Rock, you are able to pull in the scraps of the various mechs that are littering the scenery so that things don't look as suspicious from outside. You all are able to complete those minor tasks without any hindrances or obstacles.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah, Astro says, I just want to figure out, I've control of most of the basic functions of the base, but the thing that still eludes me is removing it from the sensor network that would detect our ship if it was to come down to land here. So we could rest now, but I'd have to work on that afterwards. And maybe we want to figure it out sooner so we could get Torsay on the ground here.
Well, I mean, I can work with CHIMERA and we can perform the repairs while you're working on it. Do we know what's in the South Tower? Because there's a control tower down here too.
Evelene, did you go to that tower?
That's where I'm at. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
What did you find there?
I mean, well, I couldn't.
I'll give you a description. Go ahead.
Yeah, I say that it looks like the door at the end was busted. I guess they broke it at some point and never fixed it. I don't know why, but I've been just poking around.
Roll an insight check for that one.
Wrong system.
I could roll something equivalent to that though.
How would that even work? It'd be like a contested roll.
I
mean, do we want to do that? Or
we have no reason to disagree with CHIMERA at this point. Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
CHIMERA has never steered you wrong. I'm just poking around some of the file cabinet rooms right now, but there's nothing really particularly interesting otherwise, other than that report I told you guys about.
I'll give him a description of the room I'm in right now. Is it identical? Is it like an identical type of station, or does it sound like the layout's different?
It sounds like the layout is similar.
Okay. So when I interfaced with the system here, basically what I was understanding was I didn't have full control over like what I'm going to call the sensor net, right?
Yeah.
Like there's something like partial there, but not enough for me to actually.
It is literally like you only have half of the interface. Like it is one of those things that it won't work at all unless you have both halves.
Okay. So
like you couldn't even type a sentence that makes sense as a command without commands from the other side of the system.
Astro says, well, it could be that as a failsafe, they need 2 operators in either tower running the commands necessary to take it off the sensor net. I'm going to come down to that south tower and investigate the systems there and see if maybe that's what we're missing.
All right.
So Astro makes his way down to the south tower where Evelene is.
All right. Yeah, you make your way back down to the south tower. As you go in, it seems that CHIMERA has opened one of the doors. You'll notice that the door at the far end of the hallway and the door that Evelene has opened both have the control panels popped off the wall, and a couple of the wires are frayed and moved around. The control panel on the door on the far wall is smoking and off.
Okay. Brute force. The brute force method. I like it. All right. So he'll go through the door, make his way up to the second story of that tower.
Oh no.
Nope.
That door is shut. Because
I thought
that door the door's control panel is fried.
I thought Evelene had like forced her way in.
She forced her way unsuccessfully, and then forced her way successfully on a different door.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, where are you, Evelene?
I'm on the.
She's in the other open door. As you look into the door on the back right,
yeah, might be a better way to put it.
It is like a filing room. There's a bunch of like cabinets of stuff in here.
Okay, sorry, my bad. For some reason, I thought she was already in that. So I'll say to Evelene. That door down the hallway. Was it like that when you found it?
Eveline's kind of like looks to the left and right and like, all right, I'll come clean. I broke the door.
Yeah, I figured. Let me take a look at it. You should have called me. I could have got it open for you.
Look. Sometimes a gal wants to be able to do things by herself. I call her for help. This was one of those cases. I failed, but I still did it myself. I did it all by myself.
I guess that's good. There's nothing wrong with working as a team, though, Evelene.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. So let's see the damage. So I'll look under the access panel, and check. So is it like wires burnt and frayed?
Yes, it looks like she tried to create a short to open the door, but something went wrong and it fried the whole panel out.
Okay. So maybe we could try to replace the wiring in here and jury rig it again. I know what it looks like in the other tower, the wiring.
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
But we need I guess some supplies for that. Let's check around. Maybe there's something in the supply depots we can use. If not that, we may get Dyne to shoot a hole through it.
That's something I can do.
And destroy half the control station with it.
But the door would be open. That's the important bit.
If you guys come down, Dyne would just give you some wire that he's stripped out of the mechs. figuring that's probably good enough.
All right. That's perfect. So, what do you say, Evelene? You and I try to work this together, and rewire the access panel.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So, can I do like a hack or fix sort of check with Evelene assisting, maybe?
Yes. I will allow Evelene to grant you just straight accuracy on this.
Do we need the roll for that, or it just happens?
No, just it'll be Astro making the roll, but he'll have accuracy from your help.
Okay.
Gotcha. All right, let's give it a go. So roll this with accuracy. All right, 1 second. Here we go. So I rolled a 21.
All right, a 21's a full success.
Great.
All right,
so
you tell me what you would get from this.
Yeah. So basically, he strips out all the burnt out wires. Starts rewiring things with the wires that Dyne gave Evelene and Astro.
And I imagine this is, where Evelene comes in here. She has a lot more of the hardware side than you do.
Right, exactly.
So she knows very quickly, like, okay, I know I broke this, but I know what needs fixed to make it work again.
Exactly. Yeah. And once we do that, if it does, I want to be able to interface with it using my subjectivity enhancement suite.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So yeah, we finished wiring it up. Astro claps his hands together and he's like, there, nicely done. And he pulls out his cybernetic cable from his wrist and plugs it into the panel.
All right, you are going to have to get in here. So I think you do like a fine job with everything you've done leading up to this. So I imagine it is very similar to the door you opened up north. Now that everything's repaired, it was a little harder because you had to like redo some things fresh, but you get through it.
Great. Cool. So I'm able to get through the door?
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
You have enough knowledge and you've done enough of the work that I don't think there's a way to make failure interesting on this. You have what you need to get through it.
Okay. Yeah. And basically I'm going to, once I enter in the second story, assuming that it's laid out the same way.
It is laid out.
I don't know.
It is laid out exactly the same. You walk up to the staircase on one of the two sides, come up into the same room. It is an almost twin room to the other one, but facing out the south of the base. And there is here as well a giant hologram control paneled image in the center of the room with a big circular terminal under it with like 5 different stations going around it in a circular kind of radius, with a holographic representation of the planet you're on floating over top of it.
So I said to Evelene, so either they just have 2 of these for redundancy in case there's a failure in the other control center, or both of these need to be operating the sensor net in order for them to do anything. Kind of like 2 people turning a key to initiate the self-destruct sequence. Let's find out which is which.
Yeah. Wait, what?
I mean, let's find out which scenario it is.
That's what I mean. Like, let's hope it's not
I
the
was
latter.
like, you could probably find a self-destruct. Are you gonna turn it? I mean, you can. I'm not gonna stop you.
Pretty quickly.
Well, that could be option C.
I mean, if Astro wants to blow himself up on every mission, I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth, but
All right.
Astro has flashbacks to the mine.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah.
So Astro's going to do the same thing he did in the other tower. He's going to jack into the system here, and he's going to see if the controls he has available for the sensor net are identical, like, basically, I want to see if the missing pieces are on this one, or if it's just the same stuff that's missing in both control centers. You know what I mean?
Yes. You are very quickly able to discern that this is the other half.
Okay, great. Okay. So, sounds like to me, Evelene, that we're going to need to have someone in both buildings operating the inputs needed to turn off the sensor net. So,
you want me to stick at this one and you do the other one, or?
Yeah, I just have to figure out what we need to do. It's tough because I only have half the stuff I need in either one. So it's not clear.
You imagine people trained on these systems might know that ahead of time, but you guys will have to feel it out as you go, which will be quite difficult.
Yeah.
Actually, I wonder if where are we landing the ship?
Just outside.
Is there any supplies on there that would be helpful here?
Well, we can't get the ship on the planet.
Before we can land the ship, we have to remove.
Situation.
Hey guys, should we trip the trap so that we can get the supplies we need to disable the trap?
I realized the mistake as soon as I said it. I know.
All right. So, can Astro spend some time, familiarizing himself with the interface trying to learn?
You can look around. It is obvious you do not have access to that system when you are only operating one side of it. It is like a hard, everything you do on one end needs something else to happen on the other end to make progress. So it is constantly like what if every time you try to type in a command, you can only type in half of it? So you can't even see what they do. You can't even experiment with it until you are operating both sides at the same time.
I don't suppose in this room there's a operations manual hanging on the wall that has all the useful stuff that we need to know.
I mean, if you want to see if you can find something that'll help you here, I'll let you investigate.
Yeah, I'll take a look around.
Can I
let's roll that.
Hey, communication towers for dummies.
Yeah.
You look around, and what you're able to note, if you can't, so the way Investigate is written, if you can't find the information directly, you learn how you could get access to that information. So what I will tell you is, after examining all the things here, it is obvious, based off of some evidence you find on various other terminals here, that recently people who are not used to doing some of these jobs have had to fill in on some of these jobs. So you do find evidence of notes left around that are don't forget, you need to do this to turn on, the water heat, the boiler in the southeast and stuff like that, right? So there are notes littered around that are okay, if you don't know how to do a thing, here's how to do a thing simply, right? So you imagine that somewhere on base, if you really wanted to spend the time to figure it out, you could find something like that, but there is nothing in this room.
Okay.
Could I have just done a sweep through looking for people?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
By this point?
Yeah, you
and have joined them if there are none?
You will have completed a sweep. You could report pretty confidently that you have found no one.
Okay. And then can I join them in the southern room?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So here's what I think. Evelene, you go to the North Tower Control Center.
Sure.
And I will radio you to do different commands as I try to figure out the system from here. And we'll work in tandem to figure out what the procedures are. In the meantime,
2 people and 1 person in each tower?
That would be fine, yeah.
Sorry, I got here late, so just confirming.
Yeah, to disable the sensor net, or to remove this station from the sensor net and allow the ship to land, we need to have a person operating the controls here and another person operating the controls in the North Tower. It's impossible to do it from only one control center. It's designed so that both control centers are being used simultaneously. Problem is
Hitchcock in one of them, or maybe have him put the controls in one point.
That's a very good idea.
Hitchcock can't leave the
the mech. Can't leave the mech.
Artemis.
Hitchcock can give you perfect representations of things, right? So can he represent one half while you're at the other?
Well, he does, but like that's all accessible in my Mac. I suppose it could be possible to network it out to me somehow, but I'm not sure if that will work or not.
Artemis can leave the mech. She's the only AI that can leave her mech and operate it at full capacity. That is her thing.
Gotcha.
Why is that a thing?
It is part of one of the talent, the Technophile talent I chose.
That was in character, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
What's a talent?
Okay, in character, Dyne says over the mental link, because I designed Artemis specifically for my mech, and as part of that design, I designed her to be able to leave the mech and move bodies as needed.
I think we have a mental link.
No, I didn't say mental link. I would assume that I would have replied over the comms.
Yeah, okay. The comms is our per se mental link, I guess.
So what I'm suggesting here is I'll try to do some exploratory diagnostics on the system here and learn the procedures they use and the commands, with Evelene assisting in the other control center. If one of you, Dyne or Rock, could search the fortress and see if you can find any sort of notes or instructions or manuals that would shed some light on the procedures they use here. That could save us some time.
Sure, I could do that. This is CorSec stuff, right?
Yes, it is.
Would I have any insight to help him at all?
I mean, you would know where they would keep certain things. This is a base layout that you're familiar with. So if you were trying to find something that you could think could help him, you would know where to locate it.
Okay. The systems themselves are pretty foreign, I'm guessing, though?
The systems themselves are pretty foreign. They seem custom built for this operation.
All right. Okay, I will start searching then.
Okay. Well, give me an idea of what you're looking for.
I guess I'd be looking in the different crew quarters first.
Okay.
For like notes. I don't want to say like a diary journal, but like something that they keep down, a pad or something with like, this is my notebook for like, I don't want to get yelled at again, so I've got to remember these things when I'm doing, this sort of task or whatever.
Yeah, it might be like a playbook to go by also.
There
might be a million knobs to turn.
Rock, you'll need to make an investigation check of some sort, but I am going to give you accuracy on the roll by invoking your background as a member of CorSec.
Okay. I don't really have anything just for straight investigation. Like I've worked on the street and stuff, but like I'm just going to be rolling a 1d20.
Yeah, 1d20 plus accuracy then.
1d6. So it's 18.
18. Yeah, that is the kind of thing you find, Rock. You search through the crew quarters, and what you're able to discern is like, oh, some people who like moved out of this base like left some of their stuff here. Like there's more quarters here than people were here, right? Like it could have housed more people. And for the people who are left, what you find is the person who was kind of put in de facto control of this base. It is kind of like notes they have for themselves. It's like a notebook where only the first 10 pages of the notebook are filled out, right? It's like a 120 page notebook where the first 10 pages are the only pages that are filled out. And you get a sense from reading through them that this guy started this notebook when all the support staff got taken away, right? Like this was his new notebook. He was like, fuck, I have to figure out how all the stuff on this base works. So I better start writing everything down because I don't understand any of it. So he has random things on there like, like things that you actually don't need anymore. Like, oh, this is the password for the door to so-and-so's room. He doesn't live there anymore, so I guess I need to use it, right? Like that kind of stuff. But Astro just opened all the doors from the central controls, so you don't need that kind of info. But you do find in there, as you are skimming through, you're like, okay, that could be useful, but not right now. Okay, this is whatever. You get to a point where he talks about the network, and it is a little vague. But it seems to stress in there that he was told he should not have to mess with it. But if he does, he will have to have someone go to the other tower at the same time to operate it with him. And it's like the instructions that an IT person would give someone who doesn't know how to work something. So they didn't give him like full control, but they did give him insight into some controls. Like, if there's an error and we need you to restart it, we need both of you to go to the two towers and put in this command. Put in this command at the north tower, put in this command at the south tower. That'll reboot the system. And then another one for like, if for some reason all of the stats that you're getting from your thing aren't sending to the base, do this command and that'll check the network connection and try to repair it. If that doesn't work, call us and things like that. Those are the kinds of things you find in the notebook. You think that at least knowing what some of the commands are might give insight into how the system works for them.
Okay. Perfect. Then I will go bring that over to Astro.
Okay. Astro, you look through the book and you find kind of the same thing I described for Rock. And exactly that. You're able to glean some insight from how they talked about using the system and the kinds of commands they use to do like a reboot or to check the network connection and stuff like that. To discern like, okay, I understand, if not the language, what the language looks like now. So I'm not typing Greek into a Spanish computer. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Yeah. So having this resource that Rock has given you will give you accuracy on any rolls that you need to make against this system.
Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do first is once Eveline's in the other tower, we're just going to kind of run some basic commands or attempt to run some basic commands. Get some...
feel it out.
Yeah, feel it out. Get the basic linguistics down.
You're going to see if you can get it to throw up its status report or something like that.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
And like see like a basic status report and this is how you like save a log file or something, and this is how you
absolutely things that wouldn't like throw any flags or anything like that. Right.
And he'll take notes as they go, so like once he can like once he knows a few basic inputs and commands, he's going to try to compare that to what he knows in other computer systems and how he can like kind of translate that into maybe a virus or maybe a way of accessing the sensor net that can be used to turn it off. But for now, it's just kind of feeling it out, getting a basic language down.
Okay. That all just happens. You're able to do that and get familiarized with the system. This has not elucidated much more about how to do it, except that you have the fictional positioning to do it now. From here, if you want to make a combined pilot check skill challenge against the base in order to take down this point, you have enough knowledge to attempt that check now.
Okay.
It will be a risky check, and I'll lay the points down on the table. Below a 10, it doesn't work, and an alarm goes off. Between a 10 and a 20, the thing goes down, but an alarm goes off. Over a 20, it goes down, no alarm.
Okay. Really, basically, even if the system goes down, if the alarm goes off, it's the same as if we didn't, turn it off.
The difference is they won't know a ship is here. They'll just know that something happened to this base.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
just to confirm, when you get help, that just adds accuracy to the roll.
That
right?
adds accuracy to the roll. Yes.
Okay.
Is there anything else we can do to help guarantee this? Then
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like,
one other thing, I do remember there was some controls for communications that were separate from the sort of two-man operation we're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of communications are we talking about? Is it like communications with other bases?
Yeah, base-to-base communications. Yeah, nothing that goes off planet. It seems that it's the primary base that communicates off planet.
Okay, can we turn the communications off?
You can, yeah, absolutely.
Do I know if doing that would prevent an alarm from being sent out to other stations?
You know that the alarm is on a different channel. It would supersede. It's on the security network. Like there's comms, and then there is like alarms, right? And they're separate systems.
Yeah.
Basically, an SOS would go off versus.
That's kind of what I figured.
Yeah.
they don't run along like the same kind of system though at all.
They might.
Completely separate.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to spend the time hunting down and trying to cut that first, you might be able to disable the... Now that you know that that is a possibility, you could try to hunt down that first to see if you can disable the security alarm before attempting the main check.
Disabling it would obviously be ideal, but even if we don't disable it, if we can overload the system so it just sends like just garbage, but like basically drown out the alarm while we do this, and then disable the alarm system as soon as we can after it's done, they might just be confused but not at least directly concerned. Or maybe we can just respond with after saying we had an overload. You assholes don't give us enough people, so this shit's gonna happen, you know?
Well, yeah, the only problem is because there's so few people there, we can't say like, oh, I'm Joe who recently came down, that's why you don't recognize my voice. That's the only downside to that.
Might not necessarily know the
time in
voices.
Corsac myself, I doubt that whoever you get on the comm is someone that you've probably talked to before often.
Okay.
There's a lot of people in this organization, and a lot of them don't get paid enough to care about who they're talking to.
Well, regardless, I'm definitely a fan of doing something about the security before we do the main check, because we really can't screw this up.
Dyne will just chime in over the I was going to say the mental link. It's not something we have. You know, like, before you guys do anything, we need to fix these mechs.
That's
if
true.
You guys set off an alarm, we're going to be fucked.
Let's do that first, actually.
All right.
At least one of you come help me.
I think this is a good thing to do. Why don't we figure out what we're spending all of our repairs and short rest and all that kind of stuff on first?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys can take the time. You kind of know what you're looking for. You cool down. You make sure the base is all locked up. You brought in the wreckage. It seems like you've successfully quieted and taken over Relay Station Trine without any extraneous problems so far. You're able to gather up the resources, strip down the mechs you've already done, unload, disengage the core battery from the canister that like the shipping canister that it was attached to. It seems like this was supposed to be like the replacement for like one of the generator batteries for this base. It just happens to be here right now, and probably because they're understaffed, it hasn't been replaced yet, so it was just in storage. So let's talk about how much repair cap are each of you spending? How are you allocating the 4 free repair cap I'm giving you? And who's using the core battery?
Well, we're going to give the core battery to Astro.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Thank you.
So Astro, you hook up some wiring from some heavy power lines going from the source of power to your mech and recharge like your most power intensive systems, and you can regain your charge of core battery.
Okay, so and that just means my core powers available.
You just get core power back. Yep.
Great. Awesome. Cool. Thanks, guys.
How much is it to get a structure back?
2. It is 2 repair cap for every 1 structure repair, and 2 repair cap for every reactor point you repair.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is 1 repair to go from wherever your health is now back to max. And so I think a few of you were still damaged at the end of that.
Yeah, I'm missing 4 hit points, but I'd rather get my structure back. So I can spend my own repair. I have 2 repair capacity. That's it.
Okay. So yeah, so you can
spend my own repair capacity.
You can spend your 2 repair cap, get your structure back to 4 out of 4. Absolutely.
Is it possible to bring systems back online?
Yes, anything that is broken costs 1 repair to fix. So repairing a broken weapon, 1 repair. Repairing a broken system, 1 repair.
Okay, and it doesn't matter how many system points it's worth.
No.
No, every single system or weapon that is broken costs 1 repair cap to repair.
Great.
I think I'm going to... Sorry.
I was just going to say, I can do all the repairs I need with the repair capacity I have. So if someone else wants to use that floating... wait, how much extra repair cap did we get? Oh, 4 amongst us. Okay.
Yeah, 4 total that you can allocate as you see fit.
The only 2 things I could use it for is to get 4 hit point back and to repair my high stress mag clamps.
I definitely don't need them. So, who needs them probably takes priority.
Would you like to repair anything? You got your own, I guess?
I have 5, and I'm going to restore my health and restore the charge stick. I don't think I'm going to restore the structure because I feel like...
Wow.
Yeah, it's nice. I know. My hands can't hold all these repair caps.
I have 5 too, so it's a good feeling.
Actually, does
anyone
need
the floating then?
I mean, if I would rather them being used,
I would like 2 of them.
I was gonna say I'll take 2.
Yeah, I mean, I could take 1 or 2, but I don't need them.
What would you use them for?
I'd use them for to repair 1 structure and to repair my cloaking field. So I'm going to use 3.
How many of the floating does that include?
Yeah, that's what.
Well, I have 5 out of 5, so I can use all of mine if need be.
Okay.
I'm just saying if we want to be using them and spreading them out, I could use 1. But I'm at full repair capacity, so if someone's not at full, then they should have priority over using the floating ones.
All right, so 1 of them I think is going to be used to get my hit points to full.
Okay.
So that leaves us with 3.
And then I can use another one to get a system back, but if you said you can get your systems and everything back and you wouldn't need it, Todd?
Right.
Astro? Okay. Then I would need the other one to repair my last system. If I don't know if I need it, because it's kind of situational, but would we rather have a floating repair cap, or should I fix the system?
I don't think the floating repair cap's not really something we can use mid-combat, though.
Yeah, we need to allocate it.
I don't know if we're going to have multiple combats.
I will point out it is something you can use mid-combat. That's how you get your health back when you take the stabilize.
So we can just leave it there as a group floating health cap?
No, you have to choose who takes it from this base.
That's what we're talking about, yeah.
Okay.
So it has to go into one of your repair cap pools before you leave.
Yeah, no, that's what I meant.
Okay.
Like, you can't just like leave it there and
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, then one of you guys, I won't repair my systems. One of you guys hold on to an extra repair. I'll just heal myself to full, and I'll just sit with no repairs and avoid damage.
Wait, do you have no repairs?
He has 2 repair cap.
I mean, just
take one. You should have
take
one
the
at
repair
least.
caps, man. I don't need them.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, because I'll have 2 repair when I'm done with all mine. So.
Yeah, if everyone has at least 1 or 2, I think that's a good state to be in. So if you have none, you should have at least 1.
all right, then I'll have it.
Okay, so so it sounds like you guys have it figured out. So I'm gonna go through you one by one. Rock,
Yep.
You're at 4 out of 4 structure and stress, 12 out of 12 health, and have 1 out of 2 repair cap, right?
Correct.
All right, Comet, what are you sitting at now?
I have 3 out of 4 structure, full health. I guess heat resets, right?
Heat resets, yep.
Yeah, so that's fine. And then my cloaking field has been disabled.
So you repaired it with one of your repairs?
So I'm gonna repair. Oh, sorry, I'm telling you what I have before the repair.
Okay.
So I'll have 4 out of 4 structure and repair the cloaking field. That'll bring me down to 2 out of 5.
Okay,
repair
you
cap.
use the 2 for the structure and the 1 for the cloaking.
Correct.
Okay, so got you. You're all settled. Orion.
All right, so we still have 3 floating, correct?
2
Between. Okay. So the question is, I don't need all 3. Do you want 1 extra chimera? I don't. Because with my repair capacity, I can restore both my structure and my stress, but then I would be completely out. So I could take 2
and get to max health, you mean? So like to get to max health, your structure and stress would use all 5 for you. Yeah.
Well, my situation is this. I was planning on using 2 to get everything functional again, but I was going to leave myself at 3 out of 4 structure because I don't lose structure that often. So I didn't think it was worth the points. So if I didn't take any of the floating cap, I'd be stuck with 3. Not stuck. I would have 3 capacity, which I think is a decent number to have. I don't think I need an extra one. But if you guys think it might be worthwhile to have 4 structure, then maybe I will take it.
I think it is because remember, once you get structured, if you're at 3, you have to roll the 1d6 twice.
You're right.
It's more and more dangerous. So
then maybe I will take that, and then that way I will spend 4 cap just to get it fully everything 100% again.
I must not have purged like the full evilness out of me for DMing, because part of me was hoping that CHIMERA would just be like, yeah, being 3 out of 4 is fine, it's fine, and then structures immediately in the next battle and be like, I guess it wasn't fine, huh?
As soon as I said that, I was actually thinking that, Bob. I'm like, Bob's probably thinking a way to structure me so that this is an issue.
I just figured you had reasons that it wasn't that big of a deal. I sit at 3 structure and I'm like, oh, that's scary.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I will take it so that I will have I will take 1 floating and I will spend 4 so that I'm down to 2 out of 5 cap.
Okay, so you spent 2 to get your structure up to 4, 1 to get your HP up to max.
Yep.
And then you have 2 just kind of left.
I spent the 4th one on restoring a system.
Oh, okay, so you only have 1 left.
Well, I also took a floating.
And that
would have included the floating. So hold on, CHIMERA. So you have 5 out of 5 to start with. You spend 2 for a structure.
Sure.
Spend 1 to get your HP to max.
Yes.
So now you have 2 out of 5.
Correct.
Okay, so you spend 1 to repair the charged stake.
Yes.
Okay, so now you have 1, and now you're going to take 1, right?
Yes.
So now you're at 2 out of 5.
Correct.
That's what I was saying.
Sorry, I misunderstood.
Yep.
And then to clarify for mine, I had 5 repair capacity, and I spent all of them to restore my health.
Yep.
return my structure to max and return my stress to max.
Yep.
And then I took the 2 floating, which gives me 2 floating repair.
All right. Yeah. So I think you're all set. We figured out where the 4 floating are going. All of you are going into the next fight with either 2 or 1 repair cap, a full health, full structure, and full reactor. So, I mean, really, your mechs are all fighting fit, except for you're down some supplies. So you're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling positive.
Pretty good.
And I think with that ending, getting you all where you need to be, we're going to go ahead and call this episode there, because I think it'll be most interesting to pick up the next session with you all seeing what happens when you mess with these systems in the base.
Something I'm not at all nervous about.
I mean, there will be no fallout whatsoever, and it'll go exactly according to plan.
Of course.
He'll trip the alarm and call down an orbital laser strike.
I'm surprised. I figured from a DM standpoint, it would be a lot easier for you to plan what's going on if you knew what happened there. But...
Yeah, well, let me put it this way. If everything goes fine, then what I already have planned for you guys going to the main base is ready. I'll just also plan for what happens if things go wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
So excellent. We'll go ahead and see you all in our next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.
Yep. See ya.